soundtrack of your nightlife. 1 hour of the present and future. Tune in to Hardwell On Air.
Yo, it's Hardwell here with another brand new episode of Hardwell On Air. I hope you all had a great Easter weekend. I had amazing shows in Paris and Manchester, and I can't wait for my Brazil tour to start. This week I select some new tracks by the likes of Maddox, Ro Rocca, Kill the Boss, and much more. We start the show a little deeper. I love this track. This is We the People with Every Move.
I've been reading books of old, the legends and the myths, Achilles and his gold, Hercules and his gifts, and Spider-Man's control, and Batman with his fist. And clearly I don't see myself upon that list. But she said, where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss. Just something I can turn to, somebody I can kiss. I want something just like this. I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like just like been reading books of old, the legends and the myths, the testaments they told, the moon and its eclipse, and Superman unrolls a suit before he lived. But I'm not the kind of person that it fits. She said, where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss. Just something I can turn to, somebody I can miss. I want something just like this. I want something just like
1 hour of the present and future. Tune in to Hardwell On Air.
oh, I want something just like somebody, oh, somebody, somebody, oh. I want something just like somebody, oh, somebody, somebody, oh. I want something just like somebody, oh, somebody, somebody, oh. I want something just like somebody, oh, somebody, somebody, oh. I want something just like somebody, oh, somebody, somebody, oh. Somebody, oh, somebody, somebody, oh.
The Hardwell exclusive for this week is this cool remix from Dutch talent Maddox of Sick Individuals Alive in the Maddox remix. You might recognize this one from my Ultra set and the Ultra videos during Miami, and will be out this Monday. Check it out.
Hardwell's exclusive.
Black clouds forming, but we don't know what's coming. Wastelands burning, but we don't feel like running. Ain't got nothing left but your silhouette and fire dancing in your eyes. Only you and I and the satellites till it's gone with the sunrise. So let's get it tonight, like we're the only lovers left alive. Like we're the only lovers left alive. Like we're the only lovers left alive. Let's take shelter. Oh, it's now or never. Time is fading. We ain't got forever. Ain't got nothing left but your silhouette. Desire brighter than starlights. Only you and I and the satellites till it's gone with the sunrise. So let's get tonight, like we're the only lovers left
Welcome to the soundtrack of your nightlife. Hardwell On Air. On Air.
Did you cut your hair? Cause you look a little different than I left you. Were you always trying to hide all that pain behind your eyes? I don't remember. I used to think that I would always let you get to me, that I would hear your voice and hit my knees, and I would feel it all again. But it don't hurt like it used to. No, it don't burn like the ghost still hot. And when I see you at the bar with the honey on your arm, I feel nothing at all. 'Cause it don't hurt. No, it don't hurt like it used to. And when I see you at the bar with the honey on your arm, I feel nothing at all. 'Cause it don't hurt. Cause it don't hurt. No, it don't hurt like it used to. And when I see you at the bar with the honey
The best of tech house, progressive and electro. Hardwell On Air.
Did you cut your hair? Cause you look a little different than I left you. Were you always trying to hide all that pain behind your eyes? I don't remember. I used to think that I would always let you get to me, that I would hear your voice and hit my knees, and I would feel it all again. But it don't hurt like it used to. No, it don't burn like the cold still hot. When I see you at the bar with the honey on your arm, I feel
and future. Tune in to Hardwell On Air.
Each week I will update my own Spotify playlist. Go to Spotify, search for Hardwell and follow my playlist now.
Music. Hardwell On Air.
Demo of this week comes from Afrobeats. This is Asterion. If you want to have your demo featured in the show, simply go to revealedrecordings.com/demo and upload your demo now.
Let me see your hands up. Come on.
Hardwell On Air.
It's a hustler's anthem, let me see your hands up. Come on.
present and future. Tune in to Hardwell On Air. Most voted track of the week.
The most liked track of this week is Bass from Kill the Boss and Maddox. Don't forget to cast your vote using my Facebook bot on facebook.com/DJ Hardwell.
Isn't the best place to find the lovers, so the bar is where I go. Me and my friends sat at the table doing shots, tripping fast, and then we talk slow. Come over and start up a conversation with just me, and trust me, I'll give it a chance. Now take my hand, stop it, and the man on the jukebox, and then we start to dance. And now I'm singing like, girl, you know I want your love. Your love was handmade for somebody like me. Come on now, follow my lead. I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, boy, let's not talk too much. Grab on my waist and put that body on me. Come on now, follow my lead. Come on now, follow my lead.
I'm in love with the shape of you. Push and pull like a magnet. Although my heart is falling too. I'm in love with your body. Last night you were in my room. Now my bed sheets smell like you. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with your body.
Hardwell On Air. www.djhardwell.com. Of the week.
Now you can interact with me through my Facebook bot. Check out facebook.com/DJHardwell. Talk to the bot, leave your audio message and get featured in the episode of next week.
Hey Hardwell, this is Shaniqua from Amsterdam. I love Hardwell On Air. I listen to it every week. Keep on doing what you're doing and I love you. Bye.
Voices tell me I'm a kingpin. What you thinking? When the king go downstairs ain't blinking, drinking.
かれ本かしられを吹いてかれほやて投げたんかれとんかしられ吐き捨てたれほやて We are わかんなね日々 We are 泣かせじなほやて Hey 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 ho わかたんかれわかたんかれわかたんかれわかたんかれ We are わかんな We are わかんな We are わかんな We are わかんなほやてほやて
The soundtrack of your nightlife. Hardwell On Air.
わかたんかれ本かしられを吹いてかれほやて投げたんかれとんかしられ吐き捨てたれほやて We are わかんなね日々 We are 泣かせじなほやて Hey 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 ho わかたんかれ本かしられを吹いてかれほやて投げたんかれとんかしられ吐き捨てたれほやて We are わかんなね日々 We are 泣かせじなほやて Hey 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 ho
That's it for this week. My name is Hardwell, and thanks again for tuning in to Hardwell On Air. This episode is available through iTunes Podcast, YouTube and Spotify. For more info and track lists, go to djhardwell.com. Once again, thanks for listening, and I'll be back next week with a brand new episode.
People ask me if I don't miss you, but I ain't been thinking about all the nights we spent together and how your skin felt on my skin. And I'm just calling to let you know, I ain't been thinking about you. been thinking about you. Been thinking about, thinking about, thinking about. I ain't been thinking about you. Been thinking about you. Been thinking about, thinking about. I ain't been thinking about you. About you, been thinking about you, been thinking about, thinking about, thinking about. I ain't been thinking about you, been thinking about you, been thinking about, thinking about. I ain't been thinking about you. Thinking about you. Been thinking about you, been thinking about, thinking about, thinking about. I ain't been thinking about you.
The soundtrack of your nightlife. Hardwell On Air.
I ain't been thinking about you. You.